episode 24 of Franklin Fiber, my knitting, spinning, fiber-related podcast. I am Julie, also known as Lovey Lamb. Yay, episode 24. 24 being my favorite number, actually. You wouldn't know that, but now you do. 24, favorite number. Hopefully it's going to also be my favorite episode of the podcast. I'm recording it on an iPad today, so sorry, I don't quite know where to look. I think I'm looking at the right spot. We'll see. Yeah, so if the video quality is weird or different, sorry, I don't have the computer today that I normally use, and the iPad is going to have to do. Uh-oh, I got a cat who's already looking like he's freaking out. What? You want to be on the show? Alright, he's going to be on the show today. Say hi. Hi. Oh, sweetheart. Yes. Okay. Claws. Okay, that was Frixie the cat. So, yes. Franklin Fiber podcast. Go. We have to talk about knitting first. First and foremost, because Rhinebeck is a mere 2 weeks away. Estimating. It's not this weekend, but the next weekend. For those of you who don't live in this area, which is the northeast of the United States, and maybe haven't been following podcasts about knitting, because all we talk about is Rhinebeck. What it is it's a sheep and wool festival. It occurs in mid-state New York, I would call it. It's in Rhinebeck, New York, hence the name. It's actually the New York State Sheep and Wool Festival. And it's one of the biggest wool festivals, sheep festivals in the U.S. And it's a big, big time for knitters. There's lots of vendors that set up. There's fleeces that are judged, there's contests, and you can buy fleeces there. A lot of people do that, not me. But there's also lots of vendors who set up selling yarn and fiber and spinning wheels and accoutrements, various and sundry related to knitting and the fiber arts. So it is kind of like Christmas for knitters. And one of the traditions is that everyone wears a Rhinebeck sweater. Not everyone. But many people do, and many people aspire to. I have aspired to. And I have been working on a vest because I figured it would take less time than knitting a sweater, and sometimes it can be warm, and there's nothing worse than having to take off the sweater that you labored to make because it's too hot. So this is all I've been working on, like seriously. Which is hard for me. I'm not very good at monogamy when it comes to knitting. This is the back. As you can see, oh, let me get the front. Hang on, I might have to pause this because I forgot it. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. This is the front of the vest. It's called the Wood Hollow vest. It's a pattern by Kirsten Kapoor. Costs, I think, $4 on Ravelry. I'm trying to put it on. Like, that's not going to work, Julie. It's just the front. But yeah, to give you an idea. It's a cabled design, a little broken rib section, a little hourglass section, lots of these little honeycomb cable sections, and then we've got regular old cables, and then it repeats over. It's lovely. Finished the front. It was a bit of a marathon. It was kind of annoying, not gonna lie. Not because it's annoying in and of itself, it's just a bit repetitive and felt like it was never going to end. This is at a Cascade 220, that's worsted weight, non-superwash, 100% wool, in the color Highland Green, knit on size 6s, except for the rib, or the ribbing, the twisted rib at the bottom, which is on size 5s. So what I did for this, normally it would repeat that section, the cabling on the back, in the same way, but I don't have time for that. So I just did a stockinette panel. And I realized after I was a few inches in that I should have taken some stitches out because cables draw in significantly more than stockinette does. I'm going to give you a little visual right here. So underneath I'm holding up, underneath I'm holding up the cabled section, and up here is the stockinette section of the place that should be the same width. You can see how much further this section is on top. Is that giving you a good, I hope that is giving you the, that's illustrating the point that I'm trying to make here. Sorry, I'm trying it the other way. There we go. So, that's to show you how dramatic it is. So, underneath is the back, and that's the front. Obviously it's a little gathered up, but it's a pretty significant size difference. This obviously though hasn't been blocked. It will stretch out more when I block it, because I want it to show off those cables a little bit more. So I think I'm just going to hope for the best, keep going, because I'm not going to start over on the back. I don't have the time. So we're going to keep the back the way it is. I won't block, I won't block this part aggressively. I'll just lay it out. And this I'll probably pin out to give it that stretched out look. And hopefully they'll be about the same in the end when I go to seam them together. And if it's not, it's not. You know what I mean? The back will just be a little baggy, whatever. I'm kind of past the point of caring. I just want this to be done. So this is all the knitting I did this week. Right here. Well, no, I finished this. Oh yeah, and I did fix I showed you last week, I messed up one section of the cable right before I bound off up here. It was this cable right there, I think. That was messed up. So I did end up unknitting the work that I had done on one of these shoulder straps. Unknitting it, taking out the bind off, and then dropping it down, switching the cable. I twisted it in the wrong direction. So I twisted it the right direction and then carried those stitches back up, did another cable, and then just started over. And that was fine. I'm really glad that I did that, because otherwise I would just be so freaked out by it every time I looked at it and get mad. So I did fix it. So I finished this and then did this. Yay. Next week hopefully it'll be done, the knitting part of it will be done, and then I'll just have the seaming and blocking, and then it'll be done. Or blocking and then seaming. Oh, and then it has, armhole ribbing and neck edge ribbing. Hopefully all that'll be done by next week, so that I won't have to freak out about this the night before Rhinebeck and wear a wet sweater to Rhinebeck. Whatever. It's gonna be okay, folks. It's gonna be okay. So yeah, that's that project. Sorry, cat's scratching on the scratching post. So that's my knitting for the week. I'll also show you my spinning for the week. I'm on a green kick, evidently. I told you that I wanted to start these in the month of October. It's now October. These are silk hankies, also known as Mawata. And silk hankies are a stack, you can see it's actually a stack, of individual silk cocoons which have been stretched into a squarish type shape. And then these are hand dyed by Chasing Rainbows Dye Works. So the way that you spin them, I learned this from YouTube. There's several different ways to do it, but you always start by pulling off one. Sometimes it's hard to just get one. Basically taking the thinnest piece off the top that you can. Sometimes they come off nice and clean, and sometimes they don't. So this is actually one right here. See how thin that is? Hopefully you can even see it. So that's what you would be peeling off. I'll just do it. You're taking that off, and you will make a hole in the center of that hanky. Sorry, it's catching on everything. So anything that these silk strands can catch on, they will, including any dry skin you have on your hands or anything like that. So then you're stretching it out. Okay, so that was once that square hanky, and now it's a long strand. And then you would go around, at least this is what I've been doing, and just stretching out each section of it, sort of pre-drafting it, like that. And you would keep going around and doing that until you had it all the thickness that you liked. Then you would just break it and spin straight from that. Just spin that right onto your spinning wheel. You can do a little bit extra drafting as you're spinning. But it's a really long staple length. It's silk, so it can be up to I don't even know, I think it's like 15 inches or something. So you're really holding, you're holding your two hands very far apart while you're spinning it. And it has a tendency, at least for me, it was getting very, very thin very, very quickly, the strand, as I was spinning it. Almost like fine razor wire or something. And And so it took me a while to really get used to how to spin this. So I'll show you, I just took the flyer right off my wheel. So here's what I have so far. This is probably like 15 individual hankies. And it looks like I haven't spun any, which is crazy, because it's only 0.8 ounces altogether. But silk is just so lightweight that you get a pretty good amount from it. So there you go. That's what it's looking like. It's not very even. It's got little nuppy sections. Nuppy sections is something I just made up, but you know what I mean. So here, see if I can get that to focus, sort of. Yeah, that's the thickness that I'm trying to shoot for now, so that I can actually do something with this. I might keep it as a single ply. Right now, I mean, like if I kept it all this thickness, it would be about, say, light fingering. The beginning, though, of this bobbin that you can't see underneath is really like a very fine lace weight single. But I'm just not, I don't really have a use for lace weight silk single ply. If all else fails, I might just ply it with some white merino roving that I have. We'll see. It's a work, I mean, it really is a work in progress. And the reason why I was waiting until October to spin this is because I wanted to spin it as part of the Malia of Yarn Raising podcast is having a new to you spin along for the month of October. And it's new tools, new fiber, or new techniques. So this is a new fiber for me, silk hankies. So I wanted to spin it to participate in that spin along. So I view it as a learning experience, and it is one. And it's already looking so different from when I started spinning it, and that's okay. I'm not upset about that. And silk hankies they're not hard to find. So if I do end up enjoying this, which there have been times when I haven't been enjoying this, but if I do end up enjoying it, then I can always just get more and refine the technique. So for now, that's my spinning, and I expect that will take a while, because like I said, that's about 15 hankies, that's 3 nights of work, and I still have a stack that looks like I haven't even touched it. So we'll see. Okay, other things I wanted to tell you about. Sewing. What? Julie, you've never had a sewing section on here before. I know. I spent the afternoon with Sharon, who is Seashore Sharon on Ravelry, who lives locally to me, and she taught me how to use my sewing machine. So I have a Janome Sewist that I purchased, oh God, I hate to say it, I think it was 4 years ago. And I sort of kind of maybe used it a little bit, but I was very intimidated by it, and there was just like some aspect of it that I was doing wrong when it came to taking up the bobbin and and also threading the needle. I don't know what the hell I was doing wrong, but Sharon made it seem very simple when I brought it over, and she showed me how to use it. And then she taught me how to make a project bag. Guys, I made my own project bag, and it's so cool, right? So this is some fabric that Sharon had in her house, and she let me use. The pattern would normally have 2 different fabrics for the top area where the drawstring is, and then the main body, and then a different lining too. But we said, don't worry about it. It's kind of a practice bag, so we just did it all the same. But I did it. It's a box bag too. See, it's got the little flat bottom. Not a box bag. It's a flat bottom bag. That's what we'll call it. Box bag is something much more difficult that I don't know how to do. But it is flat bottom, fully lined, generously sized project bag. And now all I want to do is make more project bags. I know, especially because I don't want to work on this. So right now, all I want to do is sit down and make more bags. I have fabric. You know the way that crafters do. As soon as I got a sewing machine, I also started getting fabric. Even though I didn't know how to use the sewing machine, I still needed to acquire fabric, obviously. So I have fabric to use. Thinking about maybe eventually I'll get good enough that I can use these as giveaways. Isn't that pathetic? I'm already planning ahead to the point where my bags are so well made that they're actually desirable. Maybe someday. But speaking of giving things away, I have to do a drawing for the Baby Knits cowl, and I'll do that at the end. But I also wanted to show you something else that I'm going to be giving away. Maybe I'll show these again next week before I actually go to Rhinebeck. But for the podcaster meetup, which is something that happens at Rhinebeck every year, there's a set time and place, and I'll tell you next week when that is, because I'm actually not sure right now. It's usually on a hill behind one of the barns, but I'll double check and find out exactly when it is. And it's a time when the podcasters who are attending Rhinebeck will get together, and anyone who's a viewer who wants to say hi, they can come by, and usually people give out buttons. But Sharon and I were discussing it. We decided that it'd be pretty cool to give away stitch markers instead. So we sat around today. We made little sets of stitch markers. See? Oh, come on. So the little like autumnal colored sets of stitch markers with a little little fancy bead. And then the rest are just like captive bead in different colors. So sets of 6 stitch markers. And I'm going to make little tags to put on them. Don't worry, there's not actually Cool Whip in here. I store them in Cool Whip. You didn't know about that? It's a way to keep them lasting longer. No. I'm going to make little tags for them, and I'll give them away to anyone who wants to come and say hi at the podcaster meetup at Rhinebeck. So now I have to draw a winner for the Baby Knits cowl. First I need to show you the prize. But first I realized since I'm using my iPad to record this, I was originally going to draw it on the iPad, draw the winner. So I'm going to have to get my phone. So hang on, sorry, we're going to pause again. Okay, I'm back. First I want to show you what the giveaway prize is. So once again, Sharon, who is just so incredibly generous, it is mind-boggling to me. Sharon gave me to give away this beautiful, beautiful project bag that she made. It's a really nice size. This would be great for a baby project or a normal sized person project. You could definitely get the pieces of a sweater in here if you're working on a piece sweater. It's really generously sized. And flat bottom. It's lined, so it's really sturdy. I'm sorry, it has interfacing, so it's really sturdy. I'm starting to learn what these things mean. And it is a zipper bag. And it's this beautiful, beautiful crow and autumn leaves and acorns on the outside. And then a nice coordinating brown, sort of like antique crackle effect fabric on the inside. And I would love to keep this for myself. But at least I can console myself with the fact that maybe someday I'll be able to make one of these too. But it is a really gorgeous bag. And Sharon, thank you very much for your generosity. And this bag, which I'll put back in this lovely little packaging, this bag will go to one lucky winner of our Baby Knits cowl. So I have it up on my phone now. Exciting. There were 8 entries, 8 baby knit entries. And so I have the random number generator. You're probably not going to be able to see it. You can kind of see it if I turn it that way. 1 through 8. Hit generate. And the result is number 8. So that's our lucky winner. Which means it was some other last minute type person like me, which I could totally relate to. Someone else who got it into the, the last second. Okay. Let's see. It is Busy Bee, who's Betsy, and she made a beautiful baby blanket. Here's a picture. It's using leftovers from a Hue Shift blanket that she made, which is a Knit Picks, full-size Afghan. Oops, just clicked on something. There you go. And it's a beautiful baby blanket, really, really lovely, and so she totally deserves her prize. Congratulations, Betsy, Busy Bee, and thank you everyone for participating. Everyone's projects were really, really cute, really nice, and I really loved looking at them and queuing a little bit, adding to the queue as happens. So yeah, thanks everyone for playing along, and I'll have, I'll definitely do more CALs in the future because it keeps me on my deadlines, and I need help meeting my deadlines. So yeah, that was exciting. Okay, so I'll send that off to Betsy, and I hope she enjoys it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to talk about. It's already kind of long, and I don't even know if this is going to work with the iPad, but let's think. All right, next week I will be recording again on Tuesday. I have a wedding that's like a full weekend-long wedding, so hopefully I have enough time to knit before the wedding, so I have things to show you on the podcast. I'll do my best. And what else? I don't know. I hope you all had a nice week. It was the first week of October, which is one of my favorite times of year. It's still warm enough outside that you don't need a big coat. But my husband and I went apple picking, and we got to, we went to an orchard and got cider and cider donuts, which are my favorite, and picked a whole bunch of apples. And it just feels like fall now. There's also the zombie walk in Asbury Park, which you might not have heard of, but evidently there were 20,000 people who came to Asbury Park for the zombie walk, which is pretty impressive. And what else? So that was fun, and that felt like Halloween early. It really is people in like stage quality zombie makeup walking down the boardwalk and into downtown Asbury Park, which is pretty cool. a little frightening. And yeah. Oh, my husband and I went to see Mike Birbiglia, the stand-up comic, in an old theater in Red Bank, in the Count Basie Theater, and that was fun. I'm just having a good week. It's been a very big, stark contrast to last week when I was like all, bummeranskis on you. No bummers today. No bummers this week. Everything's been good. And hopefully this coming week will be the same. We'll see. The wedding is like, it's one of those things, like I have to think about things like using fake tanner, because I have the worst shoe tan. I'm sorry, this is getting very personal. Like I've been outside a lot this summer, but while wearing shoes and shorts. So I have that thing where when you take off your shoes, it looks like I'm wearing like ankle socks or something, because I have very pale feet, and the shoes that I have to wear for this, I'm a bridesmaid in this wedding, and the shoes are like these strappy gold high heels. So I've got some problem solving that I have to do, but instead all I want to do is sew more bags. You know what? First world problems, man. My life is really not that bad. Okay, I'm going to let you all go now. I hope you all have a great week. This beautiful, sunny fall weather, if that's what you have where you are. This is what I have where I am. And it just makes me happy. I hope you all have plenty of knitting time on your own. And yeah, until, you know what, I'm going to put up a thing in the Ravelry group. Oh yeah, join the Ravelry group. Franklin Fiber Podcast. Just search for that on Ravelry and you'll find us. Join us up. I think we've got like 93 or 94 members now, and once we get to 100 members, I'm definitely going to have to do some kind of giveaway to celebrate 100 members. So head over there and join, and everyone who joins gets us one step closer to 100 members. And don't worry, the giveaway is not going to be one of my sad first attempt at a bags. I've got some really nice yarn that I have been putting aside to hopefully do a giveaway with. Anyway, I'm going to put a thread in the Ravelry group about Rhinebeck, so if anyone is planning on coming and wants to meet up, we can talk about it there, and we'll make sure that everyone's on the same page with the podcaster meetup. And yeah, so thank you very much for watching, and until next week, stay crafty. Bye.